there's been discussion both online and through some of the folks coming through our store relative to a belief that under certain circumstances a failure can exist with the windlass system on the Cat T. You hear people saying, well, we've broken those. But when you drill down to it and you say, okay, well then you personally have broken one? Well, no. Okay, someone in your unit or your agency's broken one? Well, no. So we got to thinking that it would be worthwhile to examine the features of these and look at that failure point as it's represented in these discussions. These are both high-end, high-quality tourniquets. You can have absolute confidence in them. The features are different. There's probably an easier application for single-handed use with one versus the other, but properly applied, they're both going to control bleeding. We want to stress that this video is not a how-to for tourniquet use. This is to explore, in a admittedly very unscientific method, the alleged failure point. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to apply both these tourniquets to a pig foreleg, and we will tighten till the point of failure. Now keep in mind, this is well beyond what is necessary to control bleeding. This is a purposeful abuse of the product. This is not what it was designed for. We are testing it to the point of, again, failure, so that we can ascertain whether it fails in a mode that is popularly discussed, or is it going to be a good, reliable service unit for you and the folks that you need to tend to. And we certainly expect that, but we won't know till we try it. North American Rescue Gen 7 cat tourniquet. Soft T tourniquet. Similar concepts: windlass design, winding a strap, tightening until blood loss is managed. We'll begin with the Gen 7. Now keep in mind, Gen 7 has to have notable different feature set than earlier editions. The windlass is considerably thicker. The reinforcement in this does not allow it to be broken by hand. We have cranked on this one. This is one of our store demo models, and for those wondering, after this test it will be disposed of. We're not going to put it on a pig and then put it back on the shelf. Also keeping in mind that pig anatomy is not identical to that of human beings, but we wanted a tissue and bone structure that was approximately the same mass, and this was what was available. Again, this is testing to the point of failure. This is not what you would want to see in actual field use. We will attempt to apply these in the expected manner. Again, tightening so that you have just the tips of 3 fingers. That's the proper deployment method. You want as much slack removed from the system as possible, and then we'll start cranking. So that's our first revolution. Our second. Our third. At this point, bleeding is absolutely going to be controlled. Our fourth. And I can tell you that at this point we're already starting to see some deep impressions in the tissue. That's to be expected with tourniquet application, but again, continuing to the point of failure, or absurdity if you will. Five, still no failure. By the way, this is thawed. It is not frozen, so it's approximately room temperature. And I'm not sure we're going to get 6 out of this, because I can assure you it is quite a fight. Now, obviously attached to a larger individual that was intact would permit. All right, so that's 6, and You're seeing the tissue exuded from beneath the skin now. 7 is probably not in the cards, but again, we're actually trying to break something here, so. And it's just not there. That's as far as I can turn it while retaining control of this. So we'll put this one aside. We'll roll this for you so you can see just how deeply this is compressed. Keep in mind at this point, you would bring the strap back through the retaining gears, tucking it in, and then of course, before your timestamp, it both secures the windlass and it also provides further information for downstream treatment providers as to when the tourniquet was applied. Now we have the soft T. This is one that is also widely distributed. Again, quality product. Different application system in that instead of Velcro, it relies on a metal buckle. Still capable of one-hand deployment if necessary. And we're going to make a real effort to approximate the same location. Both of these pig forelegs were the same weight. I can't guarantee that they were actually from the same animal. We weren't there for that part of it. But also again, this got a little tighter. There we go. So that's as good as a lockdown as we're going to be able to obtain on this one, and we'll begin our cranking at this point. So that's our first, our second, our third, our fourth, our fifth, and we're again reaching the limit of what I can actually impart on it as far as tightening, getting a lot of tissue displacement underneath the flesh. That's 6 revolutions. Can get a 7th, and actually getting a little bit of slipping past the buckle. Again, this is far beyond a legitimate tourniquet application. This is carrying this to the point of failure. Again, I'm getting a little bit more slippage through the buckle, so pressing forward doesn't seem to yield any additional results. We'll go ahead and lock this guy off on either end through the retaining ring. And we'll do a slow roll for you so you can see, again, extreme constriction, tissue displacement underneath the skin, well beyond a legitimate tourniquet application. And again, folks, we acknowledge pig anatomy is different from that of humans. These products are both holding up. They're both going to control bleeding. You can have confidence in either, but I think, at least from our perspective, we have no reservations about utilizing the North American Rescue cat tourniquet in Gen 7 edition. It clearly did not fail. The stick didn't break. The webbing didn't break. It's as tight as I can get it. So that's far beyond what you can expect for real-world applications. Thank you. So again, this is the same tourniquet unit that we had used just moments ago. So this one has already been stressed well beyond what the designers intended, but we're going to try for another twist on this just to see if multiple sessions of abuse can produce the alleged failure that people don't actually have that widespread an instance of. So again, need to stand up and actually get the leverage for this. That's 5 wraps. 6 is about all that we've been able to obtain and still retain any control of the subject media here on the table. And that clicking and popping you're hearing is just the windlass going over the plastic retaining gears. That's not a plastic part failing. It's just under so much stress that as it comes around, it's bearing down on it, clicking past it. Okay, so we did actually get 7. And again, at 7 revolutions, this is well beyond what you're going to require for positive control. And again, deploy your timestamp. We'll see if we can get 8 out of it. Thinking possibly not. Okay, well, that in fact is 8. No, 9's just not in the cards, so we'll go ahead and unwind this one and see what kind of impression and distortions of the underlying flesh have occurred. See how much twist we got on that one. And had this been a live subject, obviously substantial bruising and tissue displacements occurring there, but again, no laceration. So I think again the wider structure of this 1.5-inch belt precludes a lot of that cutting tendency. So while we're doing some cleanup following our little very unscientific, absolutely incorrect way to push these to the point of failure test, we removed the Gen 7 cat tourniquet. And again, you can see a comparison between just how much compression there was on this. Obviously hydration's an issue with this test subject, but you know, we certainly would have compressed to the point of controlling bleeding, again, without failure. We'll do the same disconnection here with the soft T tourniquet rig. And again, yes, these are going in the trash. So. And you can see again, similar banding, similar displacement, tissue laceration from the edge of the belt as it was tightening in. This being a little bit wider, did not actually lacerate. So that may be a consideration. But again, I think with either of these units, you're going to have absolute confidence that properly applied, anything even close to their design parameters, these are certainly going to be a very effective tool in controlling bleeding. And this is something, both products, you can have confidence in.